What's up, ladies and gents? This is Chris coming to you from Story Traders, and today we're going to cover trend lines. Let's get into it. So last video we covered support and resistance lines, and I left them on the chart so we could kind of build off of that previous video. Now, what is a trend line? Well, a normal line is going to be from two specific points on a chart that you can literally draw anywhere. And we'll do exactly that. So here is a line. We'll change the color just so we can make it pop. Let's see. Let's go yellow. Now, if it's 2 points, it's just a line. In order for it to be a trend line, it needs to have at least 3 points. So if we extend this out, you can see that this is now an established trend line. We can see that there's going to be price friction at this line when it continues. So when price action starts to move into the future, as it does on this chart, we can extend this line out. Now when we get up to it, to this point, we're going to be watching to see if that trend holds or if it breaks. Because if it holds, that means the overall direction of the asset is continuing. But if it breaks, it means we're going through a reversal, or at least in regards to that specific trend line. So here you can see that we broke through this trend line. And then often when a trend line is broken, we actually see a retest, or what's more commonly called a throwback. So we're going to zoom in here so you can see it a little more easily. Once it breaks the trend line, it kind of runs out of steam a little bit. It still wants to establish that it is in fact breaking that trend line and isn't just quickly going up and then back down through it. What we want to see is we want to see that line hold. So as we talked about in the previous video, a line which was previously resistance, we now want to see get tested to see if it actually holds up as support. And as you can see in this example, it does exactly that. It tests the line and it bounces right off of it and actually has a pretty strong impulse move up. So that's example of just one trend line. We could draw it out, and then basically if it's got enough points or if it's on a bigger time frame, we can establish that as a more credible or more reliable trend that we want to be looking out for, where the asset might have some price friction from reversing its current direction. So let's draw a few more just so you have some other examples. We'll zoom in here. We'll put a line in here, and it doesn't continue, so it's just a line, it's not a trend. But let's move over here. So we get some price friction here from going up, and then we get some more price friction here. So let's draw that out. And now we have our 3 touches. 1, 2, and 3. So now that that trend is formed, we can establish that in this scenario as resistance. So what we want to do is we want to see if that breaks. And as you can see, there's a very strong impulse through it. So it in this example didn't need to get retested to show it is now support, at least not yet. But if we want to draw it out just in case the price action does come back down, we can start to look for it to maybe test in this region. Now in these examples, we were just showing the trend line as a resistance level, but trends can be drawn anywhere. It's as long as there's 3 points that are connecting it, and obviously you want it to make sense. So as the line above was showing resistance, the one below is showing support. And here we actually have 4 points of support. 1, 2, that establishes it just as a line. Then we finally get our third touch, and that establishes it as a trend. So when we get price action coming back down to that line, we can be more confident that it's going to hold. And if we were looking to place a long, we could do exactly that. We could buy the asset at that price, assuming the line would hold, and then we could have our stop beneath it, just like we mentioned in the previous video regarding support. So that in essence is trend lines. You can draw them anywhere. You can draw them over any period of time. This is a 4-hour. You could draw them on smaller time frames and get an idea of smaller moves, or you could draw it on much larger time frames. You can look at the 1 week and get much different views of what's going on. So here's one. Let's see. Here's one with multiple touches. Here's one with multiple touches. As you can see, the bottom, which is support, got a wick. Then it touched here 2 times. And then the third, that makes it a trend. And then we can see it continues to hold. But then we also have a resistance level that's slowly pushing down the price action as well. So eventually, one of these lines is going to have to give. So as we can see in this scenario, the bottom falls out, it drops drastically. So now, when price action starts to move back up, we're looking to see this trend line get retested again as resistance. And because this is a weekly chart, it's much stronger than the chart we were looking at previously, which was only on the 4-hour chart. That is the basics of trend lines. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any more questions around this topic, make sure to just hit them in the comments section. Happy to answer anything that you have in regards to this topic. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, leave them in that comment section again. We're going to be putting out videos like this every day, 5 to 10 minutes in length. So if you don't want to miss one, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to make sure you never miss a video. My name is Chris, and this is Story Traders. We'll see you next time.